Netflix recently dropped the fourth film in the Fear Street franchise, Fear Street Prom Queen. So let's talk about it. Now, I'll admit, I had to binge watch the original Fear Street trilogy over the past few weeks, since I completely missed them back when they first hit Netflix in 2021. And to be honest, I only really liked the second one, and even then, it was just okay. Maybe I'm not the target audience for these films, or maybe I'm just burned out on all these mediocre straight streaming horror releases. Either way, I wasn't exactly hyped for this new entry. But after checking out Prom Queen when it premiered, I have to say, it wasn't that bad. In fact, I argue it's one of the strongest entries in the entire Fear Street franchise.
Nice.
The plot? Simple, but functional. It clearly draws inspiration from classics like Carrie and Prom Night, and its 80s setting gives it a charming B-movie slasher vibe. It doesn't dive too deep or deliver anything groundbreaking, but at least it knows what it is and embraces it. What really helps with this one was the cast. They nailed the classic horror archetypes in a fun way. They were a good balance of familiar faces and newcomers, and they all played their roles well. Klein, yes, from American Pie, was a surprise, and it was great to see him in a film again. And Fowler made for a strong lead. She really fit this kind of role. I also want to shout out Katherine, Waterston, Ariana Greenblatt, and Suzanne Sun, who some of you may recognise from Sean Baker's Red Rocket, for solid performances, even if their characters were a bit underwritten. And here's something I really appreciate. This one didn't have that bland, over-polished Netflix look. It actually felt like some care went into the visuals. The cinematography matched its 80s aesthetic perfectly, and even the score felt like it was ripped out of a vintage VSA slasher. I also want to credit, I love the soundtrack for this film. It also has a lot of great 80s hits in it that I really think fit this kind of film. But yeah, that's a big reason why I enjoyed this than the early Fear Street film entries. Those just felt like cookie cutter streaming content, but this one actually had some actual artistry behind it.
I can't help it, it's so beautiful.
Before I give you my final thoughts on Fear Street Prom Queen, I just want to remind you guys to hit that like button, subscribe to Fright Netflix, and follow us on social media so you don't miss a single scare. Have you seen Fear Street Prom Queen? What did you think to it? You let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know how you would rank the other Fear Street films too. Right, back to the video.
No more distractions.
Overall, Fear Street Prom Queen isn't going to make anyone's top 10 horror films of 2025 list, but with its cool visuals, solid performances and retro vibe, it was a decent watch. If the writing had been stronger and the characters more fleshed out, this could have really stood out. But for what it is, it's definitely not the worst film I've seen this year. I'm giving Fear Street Prom Queen a rating of a 7 out of 10 and a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please make sure you go on to Netflix, check out Fear Street Prom Queen and form me an opinion. And if you're new here, explore all the rest of our library of videos on this channel and join us next time when we rank all 4 Fear Street films from worst to best. Until then, keep the chills alive and as always, stay spooky.